Hello everybody, we are going to do some examples with multiplying polynomials. So we already looked at lesson 1 where we talked about how to name polynomials, put them in standard form, add and subtract polynomials. So in this lesson, we're going to look at how to multiply polynomials. And then in our next couple lessons, we're going to talk about dividing polynomials. Now, a lot of these examples are things that you have seen before, things like distributing or FOIL. And we're just going to kind of extend those, and it's a little bit of review. So, example 1, A. Let's say I have 3x squared times x cubed plus 4. This is simply a distributing problem. I'm going to take 3x squared and multiply it to both terms inside the parentheses. So 3x squared times x cubed gives me 3x to the 5th, because remember, when I multiply powers together, we add the exponents. X squared times x cubed is x to the 5th. Then I'm going to do 3x squared times 4, which gives me 12x squared. All right, let's try another one here. Let's say I have x squared times 3x cubed plus x squared minus 28x plus 30. Okay, so I'm going to go through and multiply x squared to every term. So x squared times 3x cubed. Again, when I multiply two x terms together, I'm going to add the exponent. So this is going to become 3x to the 5th. X squared times x squared will be x to the 4th. X squared times negative 28x is going to be negative 28x cubed, because remember, that's really x to the 1st. So 1 plus 2. X squared times 30 gives me 30x squared. And that would be our final answer. And those are both polynomials. All right, moving on. Example 2. X minus 2 times x squared plus 3x minus 1. Okay, so what are we doing here? We are multiplying a binomial and a trinomial. Now, we have done lots of FOIL, but FOIL is really only for a binomial times another binomial. And I'm going to show you 2 ways to multiply these together, and it's totally up to you what method you prefer. Essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to distribute x to every term. So I'm going to do x times x squared, x times 3x, x times negative 1. And then I'm going to do the same thing with negative 2. Negative 2 times x squared, negative 2 times 3x, negative 2 times negative 1. So x times x squared is x cubed. Now we go on to x times 3x. X times 3x is 3x squared. Then we do x times negative 1, which is negative 1x. Okay, now I'm going to repeat the process, except now we are going to distribute the negative 2. Negative 2 times x squared gives me minus 2x squared. Negative 2 times 3x gives me negative 6x. And then negative 2 times negative 1 gives me plus 2. So once I have multiplied everything out, then I'm going to go through and combine like terms. So x cubed, nothing to combine with that. 3x squared minus 2x squared is 1x squared. Then I have my x terms, negative 1x and negative 6x is negative 7x, and then that plus 2 on the end. So that would be my final answer there. Now, I said I was going to show you another way that you can go about solving or simplifying this multiplication problem. And that is by creating a box. So since I'm multiplying a binomial times a trinomial, I am going to make a 2 by 3 box. Like this. And then on the side, I'm going to write x and negative 2 for the x minus 2. And then along the top, I'm going to write x squared and 3x and negative 1. And essentially, this is just a different way of organizing our terms. And in each of these boxes, I'm going to write out what I get when I multiply the two things together. So here, I'm going to do x times x squared, which is x cubed. Here, I'm going to have x times 3x, which is 3x squared. Here, I have negative 1 times x, which is negative 1x. Then down here, I'm going to do the same thing, except now I'm going to do negative 2 times x squared. Negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. And then we go through, and just like before, I'm going to combine like terms. So x cubed doesn't have any like terms. 3x squared and negative 2x squared, that gives us 1x squared. Negative 1x and negative 6x is negative 7x, and then I have that plus 2 on the end. So you can see we got the same exact answer both ways. And the only reason I'm showing you both ways is because I want you to decide what method you like best and what you think you're going to be most successful using. These multiplication problems are not challenging. The most challenging part is staying organized and keeping your work very neat and making sure that you're remembering all the little details, because one small thing can mess up your final answer. So it's up to you which method you want to use. All right. Example 3. A. Let's say I have x plus 7 squared. What this does not equal x squared plus 49. So do not do that. We don't just simply go and square each thing, even though it just seems like that's the way it should be. What you have to remember is that x plus 7 squared actually equals x plus 7 times x plus 7. And then you need to go through and multiply everything out. So I would do x times x, then x times 7, then 7 times x, then 7 times 7. Combining like terms, we get x squared plus 14x plus 49. And that would be the final answer. So you can see if you just do x squared plus 49, you're missing out on that 14x term in the middle. So what would happen then if I have this? X minus 3 cubed. Again, that does not mean I'm just going to do x cubed minus 3 cubed, which is 27. What that means is I'm going to do x minus 3 times x minus 3 times x minus 3. And when you multiply these together, you're only going to do 2 at a time. You're not going to try to multiply all 3 of these together at the same time. It just does not work. Okay, so for right now, I'm just going to pretend like this last x minus 3 doesn't exist. I'm only going to worry about these first 2. And I'm going to multiply them together just like we did up here in example A. So I would do x times x minus times minus 3 is minus 3x. Then I'm going to do negative 3 times x, and then negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Now doing that, simplifying it, I'm going to get x squared minus 6x plus 9. Now here's the thing. I'm going to take this, what I got from multiplying those two together, and then I'm going to multiply that by that final the final factor there, x minus 3. So then we do the process again, and it's just a distributing problem. If I wanted to, I could use the box method like I showed you up here, but I'm just going to go through and distribute. So I'm going to take this x squared. I might do this in purple so you guys can see it a little better. So we're going to do x squared times x cubed. Then I have to do x squared times the minus 3. Minus 3x squared. Now I'm going to repeat the process, except it's going to be with negative 6x. So I'm going to do negative 6x times x, which is negative 6x squared. Then negative 6x times negative 3 gives me a positive 18x. Then I am going to distribute the 9. So 9 times x is 9x. 9 times negative 3 is minus 27. Now I can combine like terms. Nothing to go with x cubed. I have 2x squared terms right there, which give me negative 9x squared. I have these x terms, which are 27x and then minus 27. All right, so that is it for the lesson 6-2 notes. And we'll see you for our next class to do some practice with this.